Yo, what is up guys, welcome back. So today I want to talk about the Galvanic Shards WitchHunter that I've been playing for the past couple of days. Now many people has been asking me about this build. I wanna emphasize that this build is still work in progress. I have a lot of upgrades to actually get, which will increase our defenses and our damage by quite a lot. However, I want to talk about the concept mainly and the areas to actually improve. We have Galvanic Shards for our clear, and we have StormBlast bolts for our single target damage basically. Galvanic Shards normally is a really low damage heal, however the clear is absolutely insane with this. But you actually need to invest quite a lot with this. So with Galvanic Shards we are looking for 2120 gem basically to push as much damage as possible. And we wanna use the extra chains, we wanna use the extra damage from the Rigvads to make this kill as smooth as possible when it comes to our actual clear in maps. Our Galvanic Shards can chain and fork, and it can deal a reasonable amount of single target damage when it comes to like Abyss Rares or something like that. We definitely don't need to use our StormBlast bot to clear rares. We can just throw a few Galvanic Shards at the mobs and then that's pretty much it. Besides this, we have StormBlast bots. We actually wanna stack this. So we will stack this, we shoot out 3 bolts at a time and we explode these. Now, we are not using Mirage Archer in this version at least. So we are manually casting explosive grenade to actually pop these StormBlast bullets. So whenever we are stacking this, when we have a good amount of StormBlast bullets on the ground, we just basically pop this. We made our explosive grenades explode super fast, so that's basically our trigger for the StormBlast bullets. With StormBlast bullets, we are using rapid attacks, lightning mastery, close combat, consecrated area, and elemental ornament currently. So basically, I wanna change lightning mastery to Rakiatas, and after that, I will actually change my skill tree as well. However, currently this is probably the best I can support this skill with. Once I have Rakiatas, it will increase the damage of StormBlast bullets by a huge mile, and after that, our single target damage will be actually quite insane, I think. So besides that, we have Wind Dancer because we are running WitchHunter, and WitchHunter allows us to have Sorcery Ward. Now during maps, Sorcery Ward reaches around 9 to 11,000. This can be pushed quite higher. I think 15,000 is reasonable during mapping, but for that, as I said, we need some extra investment. With Wind Dancer, we have Blind and Stun currently. We have the Sorcery Ward supported by Cold Mastery. This can be also supported by another lineage support, which we will get later on. Besides that, we have Eternal Rage. Now we have 45 Rage permanently on, so that's 45% more damage basically. We have Herald of Thunder helping our clear by quite a lot. We have Lightning Mastery, Elemental Ornament, Elemental Focus, and Magnified Area with this one. Once I can get my Rite of Passage, we will have Armor Explosion here as well with the Rite of Passage, so that will increase our clear even more. So we will have explosions going off with Herald of Thunder. Currently we have Emergency Reload as well. It is giving us a bit more damage, so on bosses we have StormBlast bolts 1 round, and we use Emergency Reload. We have 1 more round, we have the 30 projectiles maximum, and then we use our explosive grenade to actually pop this. So that's basically how we do it. We are running cooldown reduction and prolonged duration with this. We have Trinity active with Cold Mastery, and we have gas grenades with 3 random blue gems. This is only for us to be freeze immune because of our passive tree. Now the passive tree looks something like this. So we have the No Mercy here, and we have Ceremonial Ablution. So this is Sorcery Ward, and this is 40% more damage basically. If you are doing Abyss exclusively, then you can actually go with Zealous Inquisition and Pitiless Killer, because the 10% chance to enemies to actually explode, as far as I know, Abyss monsters are demons, so this is like 20%. And the damage and the clear with Zealous Inquisition is just actually insane if you do Abyss. So even before the mobs can actually spawn, you will like just blow them up, yeah? So one mob dies and explodes, then everything else just dies and explodes, yeah? So like they cannot even get out of the pit. It doesn't matter. I'm running the 100% effectiveness for each closed pit, up to 100%, sorry, for each closed pit. And they just die, yeah, they just die instantly. So if you're only doing a beast or you are mainly focusing on a beast, this build is just insane actually. So besides this, this is our current skill tree. We are not using weapon sets 1 and 2 currently because it wouldn't help us too much. But as I said, after Rakiatas, we actually need to change our skill tree around, because if we have a bunch of penetration currently, but with Rakiatas, that will actually just not make us much damage gain, because if the monster has 60 resistance, for example, and we have penetration, that will lower the resistance, yeah, up to like plus 20, yeah. Then comes Rakiata, makes it minus 20. Instead, if I change my skill tree around and remove all the penetration from the StormBlast Vault weapon set 2, or weapon set 1 rather, then the mob will have 60 resistance. Rakiata will make it minus 60. So you wanna be careful with the penetration if you are trying to actually use Rakiatas. So besides this, we have the Rage here. We have a Timeless Emerald here with some extra effectiveness. This needs to be changed, but I think it's pretty reasonable. Once I have everything, this side of the skill tree will be just removed basically. So we are using these two middle columns here. This is basically because we were struggling to get enough attributes to run everything. So this is why we are using this. So here we have Gem Enthusiast and Crystallized Immunities. So the blue gems I just discussed, this is why we are using this. It's giving us chill immune basically. So chill is super annoying. I wanted to get rid of it, and this is one way to actually use it. We are not using gas grenade. We are just taking care of, we are just making use of the blue gems basically, yeah. So this is currently our skill tree. I have a double damage Heart of Well here with Cold and Lightning. And I have Against the Darkness here with extra fire and 4 nodes to actually have 16 fire. Currently, we are at 26,000 evasion. This can be quite a lot higher, but yeah, you will see in the gear why I'm saying that. So for the gear, I have this middle S Gemini crossbow that I just bought off randomly from the market for like quite cheap. So it has onslaught and +4 and some damage on it. This can get quite a bit higher. I think it's reasonable to have like double the damage from your weapon if I were to actually craft one myself, which I will do later on. We have Painter's Servant here. This is basically to allow us to have Trinity going on for us. So this is giving us a bunch of extra damage here with the 30% magnitude of non-damaging ailments, so extra shock freeze, stuff like that. So it's really good. I have double rarity and some resist rings here. I have the Iris Ire. Now Iris is giving us a bunch of sorcery reward, and don't get it twisted. During mapping, since our sorcery reward is just so high, Iris with sorcery reward is just super good. But again, you could get an Iris with like 3 sockets and like 1.8k evasion, so there is a lot to improve on. We have the Alpha Howl. This is for the extra 100 spirit. It has nice base evasion actually, so this is playing into our build nicely. I have a 60 spirit amulet here with +2 and some resist, nothing to really talk about. I have branching boards here allocated for 60% chance for lightning skills to chain additional time. We have the Galvanic Shards as a lightning skill, so this is extra chain that we are making use of. I have this random boots that is just giving me a bunch of resist and some evasion with 15 rarity as well. And I have a Mage Blood. Mage Blood here is really important. Silver, it's action speed basically. So silver is giving you extra like faster reloads, faster attacks. it's really good. And Jade is a lot of our evasion. So we have 14.9 without Mage Blood, and we have 26,000. Now this results in like 3 to 4,000 difference in sorcery ward. So that 3 to 4,000 is quite a lot. The difference between having 5k sorcery ward during mapping and 10k, because of how sorcery ward works, it's insanely big, yeah? So sorcery ward will refresh every 6 seconds if you are not taking damage. So every 6 seconds we are getting a refreshed 10,000 shield, which is tanking us chaos, physical, and elemental damage. It's just super good, yeah? One thing that we actually have to solve in the future is degens, so ground effects like burning and stuff like that. But besides this, the only extra thing to mention is that so this is giving us a bit of damage actually, because we have the 40% increase elemental damage with attacks during any flask effect. This is always applied to us, so it's a nice way to actually make use of that keystone. And this is basically enough to sustain our mana permanently, yeah? I have one more mana here, like 18 mana per enemy killed. I have this one, but this completely solves our mana. As I said, we are currently missing Rakiatas. We are missing a better chest piece, a better helm, a better boots currently. And go for Garukans in the very end, but this is just the support is 300 divines. So we shall see in the future. Let me actually have a quick map showcase for you. So we have a T16 map with like a bunch of stuff, yeah. And we have 3 tablets, 2 abyssal and 1 irradiated. So let's actually go in there and see how this, in this current state with a bunch of budget stuff and a mage blood, so I don't want to downplay that, we do have a mage blood, how this build actually functions. So as we discussed, we have our Galvanic Shot for our clear. So we have a bunch of fork, a bunch of chain going around, and it's taking care of the clear quite well, yeah? So if we see a rare, as you can see, we don't need to actually use our storm bots. So we have an abyss here, like no problem whatsoever. Keep in mind it's not super giga juice, but I was farming the actual juiced abysses with this, and it was super easy to actually go about this. So on an abyss rare we can just use our storm bots and deal with those that way. So even if I don't use it, you can see that we are killing the rares quite nicely. With the more and more pits opening, they will be tankier and tankier. At the very end, you actually want to use your StormBlast bolts to clear the abyss rares, but you will one-shot them, so it doesn't really matter, yeah? You just stack some bolts up and you just one-shot it, yeah? So as you can clearly see, we are not in danger of like dying or anything like that. If our HP goes down, that is because we are sitting on a degen, be it like ignited ground or whatever. So that's our only weakness currently, which we actually need to solve in the future. But as I said, in the current state, this build is super comfortable. It can walk through almost all content, yeah? It doesn't matter if we are talking about bosses, it doesn't matter if we are talking about like juiced up maps. It's good. And the only thing that we cannot do is 200% daily, but once we have all the upgrades that we need for the build, I'm pretty sure 200% daily should not be a problem whatsoever. So with the upcoming upgrades, and if we go crit, our damage should be like dumb. And once we have dumb damage, that it doesn't really like, it doesn't matter if it's 200%, yeah? The only reason why you are dying in like 200% daily is that you cannot kill the mobs faster. So we have Since we have no like proper like defensive layers in this game, one of the best defensive layer is to actually have like more damage basically. And for the rest we have our sorcery ward. So like we are sitting at 9.6k currently, and we are not really taking damage, yeah. So even if I like stay like in like a messed up situation, you will not die. Like you are guaranteed not dying, yeah. So as we walk through the map, you can see that our clear is fine. It's nice. So we can have some single target damage showcase here. So we are summoning this, we are loading up our storm bots, and once the boss is spawned, we just blow it out, yeah. So let me actually go and finish up this map. So what we're gonna do is stack up some bots, use emergency reload, and that's pretty much it. Once we have everything, we just use explosive grenade and blow up the boss, yeah. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will leave the POV down in the description, but please consider what I've been just saying basically, yeah. So this build is still work in progress. This is not like a full-blown build guide. That's coming when everything is in place and I feel like the build is as good as it can be, yeah. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I see you in the next one.